Come out to the bigger focus here, all right? You've got this area here in the Strait of Hormuz, a major focus, and then you've got the area down here at the bottom of the Red Sea that leads into the Gulf of Aden, and that fired up about 3 days ago. This is what we can tell you, okay? I'll put this in yellow to give a better idea here. The red area is controlled by the Houthis, and no small matter. This is a 100-mile stretch of shoreline. So if there are vessels moving through the Red Sea, the Houthis have made their threats, and we had one area that was hit that belonged to Saudi Arabia just the other day. Meanwhile, there's a pipeline here in Saudi Arabia that goes north of the area where the Houthis control. That pipeline is being used more and more by the week to try and steer clear of this area that's operated by the Houthis, and we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, I'll show you back in the area, the campaign against Iran. Here again on the board, Strait of Hormuz that leads in the Gulf of Oman. 13 consecutive nights of strikes. What's CENTCOM going after? They are trying to cripple the military command centers, the drone storage facilities that are still a problem today, the communication networks, and a lot of this coastal surveillance now that the IRGC can use against international shipping and can use potentially against U.S. forces. So over the past week, give or take, all right, the blockade's still in effect from the tip of Oman down here, straight across roughly to the border with Iran and Pakistan. We are told over the past week we've had at least 12 vessels that have been redirected on behalf of the U.S. military, and one of those has been disabled. With all that as a backdrop, let's go ahead and bring in our guest to go ahead and talk about this. Former CENTCOM Commander General Joseph Votel. Sir, thank you. Welcome to our coverage. What are we missing? What happens next? How do you see it?
Yeah, thanks. It's great to be with you, Bill. Well, I think the main issue that we are continuing to focus on here is the Strait of Hormuz and Iran's ability to control that. And I think that is, when you look at some of the targeting you just talked about, a lot of that is focused on trying to reduce the capabilities that that Iran is using to exercise that influence, and of course broaden the conflict to 6 or 7 different countries around the region. The current U.S. campaign is certainly doing some damage, but as we've now seen the 13th night, almost 2 weeks of it, it's not yet brought us to a point of decision here where Iran has said enough and they're ready to move back to negotiations. So something more aggressive is going to have to happen. And of course, you've alluded to that, and the president has as well, that there might be something more coming. I would just highlight that while the military will continue to play a critical role going forward in this, we'll also need to make sure that we are being equally aggressive in our diplomatic, economic, and informational tools to make sure we're putting the maximum amount of pressure onto Iran as we try to bring this conflict to a conclusion.
General, since this conflict started, we have been polling about how long people thought that it would last, asking them, was it weeks or months, a year or more? Folks were evenly split when we started asking that question back in March. Now, brand new polling shows only 35% think this is a matter of weeks or months. 64% think it's going to be a year or more. Given what we've seen play out so far, what do you think the timeline is, realistically?
Yeah, I'm always reticent to give timelines, especially in public here, but I think we're talking months here to resolve this. We will have to have a sustained military campaign that will do some real damage to the regime before they are likely to capitulate or to come back to the table. And of course, those other things I'm talking about, the diplomacy, the economic action, that has to have time to work as well. So I do think it'll probably be measured in months.
Wow. Wall Street Journal, great reporting today by Josh Dulcie and Andy Linsky. They're saying the president's fed up. That's the lead line in the piece. If he's fed up, what do we do about it?
Well, as I think the president has indicated most recently, it looks like we're planning something big. And as you just highlighted a few moments ago, there is a little bit of a buildup of some resources in the area. There's a couple of reasons for that. One, it's a messaging opportunity against Iran to let them know we have more. But importantly, the movement of medics, the movement of additional aircraft, the movement of troops, other things into the region is also a way of providing maximum flexibility for our civilian leaders. So I think that's what we're doing. So president has the maximum amount of options to address the situation.
General, thank you. We'll see what comes next. Appreciate you coming on
Thank
today.
you.
Yeah, you bet. 25
you.
minutes past the hour now. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.